What it is, what it is. Last time I was out here, Q hit that pop early this morning. Y'all from the south. There it is. With their fire. Oh. Shit. Whew. Anyway. So yeah, man. Know everybody probably in church doing the church thing. I'm almost burnt myself. But anyway, man, I heard the news that Terrence Crawford is on deck to fight Kell Brook. Now, on the surface, that may sound like it's a great fight. Both of them are accomplished champions. You know what I'm saying? It's a big money fight, especially if it takes place in the UK. But let's keep it all the way funky, man. Kell Brook was just on Team Rebuild, right? He had to fight with Triple G, to which he fought well. Basically put the blueprint out there on how to actually get shots off against this guy. Salute right back to you, BBG. Exposed Triple G's vulnerabilities against a guy who can actually box. You know what I'm saying? But he got broken up in that fight. Denise Wars, what's going on? Salute to you, sweetie. But in that particular fight with Triple G, he got broke down real bad to the point where he had his orbital bone broken. So that was also a fight where he went up 2 divisions to make that fight. It was a fight for legacy, but it was also a fight for money. That was a huge fight over there in the UK. But after that fight, he would go back down to welterweight and defend his title against a rising, surging, hot welterweight named Errol Spence, who we all know and were high on because he a beast, right? And in that fight with Spence, he got broken down, battered and bruised, and stopped. And that's how he would lose his title. And he also had his other orbital bone broken by the hard punching of Errol Spence. So since then, he's been on Team Rebuild, man. He had to do what he had to do. Salute right back to you, Joseph Brown in this thing. He had to do what he had to do to get back in this thing, you know, and position himself possibly for another title shot or another big fight for where if it ain't for legacy or for a title shot, at least for some paper. Where in this particular fight against Terrence Crawford is going to be for both because he's fighting a pound for pound best fighter in the world, arguably. You know, I say it's Canelo, but, you know, you put Terrence Crawford there, you can't argue with that either. They're both very accomplished fighters, you know. But we already know the saga as it unfolds over there at the Top Rank Promotions. He basically has nobody to fight. Terrence Crawford I'm talking about. So this gives Kell Brook an opportunity for one, another world title if the fight takes place at 147 pounds, which I foresee it taking place there, or he may have to go up to 154 pounds. And if that's the case, you know, Kell Brook hasn't fought at that weight. If he did, he hasn't campaigned at that weight. So it's not like he'll be fighting a guy who had been fighting at that weight for a long time. So it's not a fight where I believe Kell Brook can really impose his size on Terrence Crawford, much more than he would already do at 147, being of the fact he was one of the bigger welterweights campaigning at that weight as champion, you know, and as champion. But I think Kell Brook is still broken, man. You can't. It's hard to come back when you had 2 orbital bones broken in your face. You know what I'm saying? Since then, he's had two solid wins. I don't mean over solid competition. I mean just solid wins to put on his ledger. Being of the fact he had two losses in a row, but he's positioned himself for a big fight. And since Top Rank has this issue over there where they can't secure fights against top welterweight fighters, Terrence Crawford gonna have to fight somebody. And they just signed Amir Imam, but Amir Imam is getting back into the fold. So even if he was a potential opponent, he still has to get back in the win column. I believe his last fight was against Ramirez. So he won't be available at the moment either. So it's a different. It's going to be a difficult for Kell Brook. Now, if this was a fight that Kell Brook had prior to fighting Triple G or prior to fighting Errol Spence, I'd be salivating at the prospect of what could happen in this particular fight. They would still be two undefeated guys. But the blueprint to beating Kell Brook has already been put out there by two guys. It's not like Crawford already needs a blueprint. He's a pound for pound guy. He can establish his own method of defeating Kell Brook. So the onus is on Kell Brook to prove that he's still a top guy. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was a wasp. To prove he was still a top guy in the welterweight division. Or if they're fighting in super welterweight, I really don't know the weight that is contracted for. Or if it's super welterweight, he have to prove that he's actually a top guy in that particular division. If the fight takes place at 54, if Bud was to lose that fight, Bud will still be a champion at welterweight, and it wouldn't hurt him too much. Same thing with Kell Brook. It wouldn't hurt him too much because he would say, hey, I'm a natural welter. So I could see that being a possibility. If it happens at welterweight, if Bud loses, then his star actually is going to take a hit because he lost to a guy that most people think is, his best stuff is behind him. The best of his career is behind him. If Kell Brook were to win, that would be huge because he would place himself right back in the thick of things in the welterweight division, and it would be easy to make a fight with the PBC as it was previously. So it's a lot of things that can happen in this fight. But what I see happening, let me stop beating around the bush and get to that. I see Terrence Crawford continue to get saturated at the weight, continue to prove that, he can fight at this weight against top guys. I think the style is going to be great for him. He's probably going to be a switch hitter in there, back and forth like Hagler. Kell Brook is maybe a little taller, maybe by an inch or two, but Terrence Crawford got freakish reach for a welterweight of his size and stature. I'm sure he has more reach than Kell Brook. So the jab is going to be an awesome weapon for him in this fight, and you don't have to ask him to throw it. It's not like he has to dictate behind the jab. He has a plethora of weapons to choose when he's pressing the issue against his opponent. But the jab shouldn't be too difficult to throw as he is a much rangier fighter. But Kell Brook is a textbook fighter, and he does a lot of things well. And he doesn't slip up a lot. And he's not the easiest guy to hit, but you can hit him. He's not a defensive master. Terrence Crawford is a defensive master. He can do everything. He can do everything very well. So, like I said, man, the biggest detriment I see for Terrence Crawford in this fight is that he's fighting a naturally bigger, stronger guy with a huge punch. And this will actually tell us how good of a punch that Terrence Crawford can take. At the end of the day, we seen him buzzed by Gamboa, but Gamboa can punch, so I'm not going to hold that against him. Even rest in peace, the late homie Omar Henry said that Gamboa can hit like a 54-pounder because they sparred, believe in Vegas. So I'm not going to hold that against Terrence Crawford, but he ain't fighting a junior lightweight or a lightweight in Gamboa. He fighting a legit welterweight and a guy who can campaign at 54. And we're going to see if he can really take a shot from a guy that big and strong. Because Kell Brook, one thing he got is a good 1-2. And if he line you up for one of those great right hands, it could be good night Irene. So I'm anxious to see what happens on that note. But if there are any kinks in Kell Brook's armor, he gonna get the brakes beat off of him. Cause Terrence Crawford, he don't give up much in the ring, and he does a lot of stuff well, but he does a lot of things that are not fundamental because he's been able to get away with it. And they go, Wasp, got your ass. Well, I got Wasp problems back here, bro. That's a dead one right there. Punk motherfucker. Anyway, it's hot too. Anyway, like I was saying, man, it's gonna tell us a lot. Terrence Crawford does things that are not fundamental. That if he's not careful, it can be held used against him, like switch hitting. That's not fundamental. It's never been fundamental for a guy to switch from right to left. But we got fighters that do it and do it well. But the biggest way to catch a guy when he's a switch hitter is to catch a guy in transition, going from right to left or left to right. So that's a factor. But in terms of pure boxing ability, you got to give the edge to the pound for pound champion. We know Crawford can hit power in both hands. I mean, that's well documented. But Kell Brook, when you think about it, when had he lost 2 fights, right? That was 2 stoppages. But he was not he didn't suffer a legit KO though. You know, where the ref counted to 10 because you just couldn't do nothing. You can't get up. You know, he suffered big fucking fractures in his face, which a lot of guys would have just gave up the ghost right there too. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, when you're coming back from those 2 fractures and you're gonna be in the ring with somebody who can punch like Bud, I mean, how much damage can he, take to his face before, those issues come to the forefront one more time? You know what I'm saying? So in this fight, I see Bud, doing his thing, man. I think he got enough ability to go over there and outbox Kell Brook and secure another victory under his ledger on his resume. This isn't the Kell Brook that he once was, but it's still a solid guy. And it's actually a guy that Terrence Crawford in Top Rank can actually negotiate a fight with if you want to take into account all that crossing the street bullshit. Timothy Bradley was trying to say that there's no such thing as crossing the street. What's going on, new Fat Boy Fit? I see everybody. Ace Boogie up in here. ECW. Let me read some of these comments, man. That's a good fight for Bud versus Kell Brook. I want to see it. I want to see it too, man. Kell has an iron chin. He has a good chin. He takes great punches. Like I said, even though he was stopped, he was never concussed. Ace Boogie say Kell Brook timing is great. Damn right. And he got decent speed too. He say, but the eyes though. Yeah, the eyes, bro. Hey, it is what it is. The contract is gonna be signed, so we're gonna see what he got. Hold up, shout out in that super chat to the homie Joseph Brown, man. I appreciate that, man. Every little bit counts, man. Yeah, like I said, man, it's gonna be a great fight, and we're gonna see what them boys can do. We're gonna see what Kell Brook remains in this sport of boxing. Is he just a shell of himself? Is he just gonna be an opponent for Bud? Or is this a legit fight that everybody need to be taking note of? It's a dangerous fight, so I don't want to act like Bud is in there with nobody. But we already know the timing of this fight isn't what it should have been. You know what I'm saying? But who else is Bud supposed to fight? Remy say KB by decision. That's a bold prediction, brother. Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm about to do some queuing out here. I'm from the South. This is how we get down. That's a ballsy, ooh, it's smoke. God, dog. That's a ballsy, prediction, fam. But you know what? I don't knock it. It ain't like Kell Brook can't fight. Like I said, if he beats Bud, he right back in the thick of things. And what kind of statement would be made if he beat Bud and then go on to try to unify the titles, try to get some get back? Man, that'd be off the chain. Salute Junior, the truth up in this thing. What's up, homie? Holler at me later on if you want to do that thing too, bro. Sweating like a dog behind my crib, but I'm about to put some meat on this grill. Fire just about ready too. Dog heart in this thing. Is this fight really happening or is it just speculation? No, I mean, Bomac said it's a done deal. So I'm going off of what his trainer said. You know? I'm just waiting for Top Rank to send me the particulars, you know, when they make their official announcement. I can put it on mandatorydefense.com and start tweeting it out there, you know? Straight up. I'm just trying to get a jump out on it before everybody else start doing their thing. I'm always the last one, so homie Ace Boogie say, I like Brook, but I can't see him beating Bud. You're right, if he beats Bud, that would be huge. Man, that'd be huge. Remy say chocolate brownies being served. Boy, you must be from the UK. Shout out to the UK, man. Y'all got some great fans over there, boy. Y'all support y'all fighters and y'all have no problem going across that pond to do so. So props for that, man. I got wasps back here, bro. I'm trying to smoke them out. Bastards. Brook need to get his mind right. I can't see it. You know, it's like I said, I'm back here tripping. Brook is physically strong, will be interesting. I feel you. Bud will be elusive. We already know he can move. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's the biggest problem for Brook. You know, I don't think the elusiveness is going to be the biggest problem. I think Bud's power is going to be the biggest determining factor. Junior say UK fans are dope. Hell yeah. Canada fans too. Canada fans too, man. They support their fighters, man. I'll give them all the credit in the world for that, man. Let me get some of this meat. Oh, I didn't even know you were back. I'm over here going live, sweating like a dog out there. Huh? Yo, we talk about boxing anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Out here with the homies. You want steak, man?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Okay, I'll do it on the other one. Where that meat at?
I don't want it to get no bacteria.
It's going on the fire.
It's wrong meat. You want both of them?
Nah, just give me this one. Oh, baby, you gotta announce yourself. Your pops is 6'13" around this mug. Let's see. Is Spence fighting Spence? Bud is fighting Brook next. Terrence Crawford. I don't know where it's at. It's probably gonna be in the UK. That's gonna be some cake if it is. But I think that fight, it'll be I think that fight will sell anywhere. But if you want that real money for this fight, you know, what's the name is a big time draw in the UK. I mean, he not like Ricky Hatton. You know what I'm saying? Ricky Hatton can get him. God, whew. Y'all see that smoke? Boy, can't nobody do this like Ash, boy. I get done. Can't nobody draw like Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton had him go all the way to New Zealand. Oh, that's far for us. That's probably not that far from the UK. I don't know. My geography all jacked up. Ricky Hatton fans would travel anywhere. Timbuktu for him. So I don't know if Kell Brook got it like that, but I know him and Spence filled the rafters when they fought. And I don't expect any different this time around, too. So you better get some of that wasp. I got some, bro. I sprayed some already. I'm just waiting for them hoes to die. Straight up. So they ain't that bad as they were. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, they dropping dead, man. For real. So yeah, man, I think Spence is good. Not Spence. I think Bud is gonna prove that he belongs, man, at the upper echelon at welterweight. I really do. I think it's gonna be a great fight. I would like to see. I hope that Kell Brook is not just a shell of himself. I hope that he's still a legit guy. That he's been at that weight. And you know, I hope this is not the end for him. You know, But we gonna see though. Terrence Crawford got a lot to prove because as it stands, you ain't got no opponents. You got guys calling him the best welterweight in lineal. You ain't no lineal champ at 47. What lineal champ did you beat? Jeff Horn was not no lineal champ. Jose Benavidez wasn't a lineal champ. Amir Khan damn sure wasn't no lineal champ. So what lineal champ did you beat? You were a lineal champ at 40. At welterweight, I mean, I give you props for beating Jeff Horn. You know what I'm saying? But you're not the best welterweight yet. Pound guy as far as the mythical list is concerned. But at welterweight, Spence and Pacquiao got more of a claim of being the best welterweights in the world, more so than Terrence Crawford. Because if anybody had fought Jose Benavidez, Amir Khan, and Jeff Horn, wouldn't nobody be saying they're the best welterweight in the world when you got all the other dogs over there simmering, you know? So he got a lot to prove at this weight still, I think. But he doing a great job. I ain't taking nothing away from him. He a bad boy. I ain't no hater. Straight like that. This could be that alcohol got me sweating like I got a detox today. But anyway, man, I think Crawford got that thing, man. I think Crawford got that thing. And we'll just have to see about that. What y'all think about oh, first of all, rest in peace to Cedric Benson. Used to play for the Texas Longhorns. I heard he injuries on a motorcycle. That's a tough way to have to check out around this thing, you know. It was a running back. He put up great numbers. As far as I really don't know the particulars, but he is no longer with us. So my condolences to him, his family, and may y'all, find peace through this troublesome time. But that's all I got for right now, man. We'll chop it up again in the future. Let me get at this, man, so I can feed these people, man. I'm going to get at y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for dropping in. Stop by MandatoryDefense.com for updates, news. Rashawn Williams in this thing. Stop by Facebook / Come Out Fighting. And just look out for your boy Ash. I got a fight to cover this week. So look out for that. It's a local fight, but it's some pretty good talent on that card. And I'll check in with y'all, man, straight like that. All right, man, I'm out this thing.